welcome back to another new video. In this video I'm going to show an API which is called Dargan API. Basically Dargan API is used to generate postcodes and distance in UK. So I was working in a client project which requires this API to search all the adverse nearest the postcodes within a distance. So I decided to make a video so that it might help you in near future. So to get started with this API, you have to visit the Dargan API documentation. You can search it on Google and you can find it also in the Rapid API website. To get the API key, you have to create an account here. Just you have to create an account, then it will give you the API key. So there are three kinds of API. You can see distance, geocode, and in radius. I'm going to work with the in radius API because you can see that it finds all the postcodes within a certain radius in kilometer of a postcode, but my client does not have the kilometer range. He has the mile range. So I'm going to convert this mile to kilometer, then I'm going to hit that API endpoint. Okay, there is another API which is distance. Get the distance between two postcodes in a kilometer. So you can see this API is taking two different postcode here. Postcode A, this is a postcode, and postcode B, this is another postcode, and it returns the distance between these two postcodes in kilometer. So I'm not going to use this two, I'm going to use this one. This is my basic form which has a postcode field and a distance field and a submit form button. I will give the code files in my GitHub repo, and I will share the repo URL in my description box. So let's get back to the code. I have already opened my Visual Studio Code here. You can see that this is a very simple basic bootstrap form I'm using, which has a postcode and a distance field, and the form action is in Dargan API.php. So when the user will click on the submit button, it will take us to the Dargan API.php file, and we will hit the API here. So let's start with the code here. You have to open a PHP bracket here, and I'm going to use the error reporting here to show if we have any error in our code. Then we have to get the postcode. Remember, as we are using method post here, so we have to use the post method here. If you are using get method, then you have to use get method here. So I'm going to use post. Okay, great, we got our postcode and distances. Now let's echo the postcode and distance here. Let's check the form, is it working or not. If we click on the submit button, you can see we got the postcode here and we got the distance as well. Now we have to convert our distance to kilometer, as we are getting a string here. So I'm going to convert this now. Now we got rid of this within and miles text. Now we have to get the miles to kilometer. We have to convert the mile to kilometers. So I'm going to use radius again, round function, and it will be a float value. I'm going to pass the radius, then and that's it. Then we have to decode the radius. Okay, perfect. Okay, we got an error here. Let's see what does the error is. str replace. So str replace is not working. We got a spelling mistake here. Okay, fine, it's working. You can see that we got the kilometer in 6. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to format the postcode as well. Okay, perfect. We got our postcode and we got our kilometer. We got our radius, which is in kilometer as well. Now we have to go to our API documentation and select the API code. So copy this code, paste it here. Okay, okay, we got our endpoint here. Then we got our API key here, and we got our responses here. So let's just save the code. There is an error I can see. Okay, we have to close the semicolon here and just reload the page. You can see we got all the postcode and distances here. So what if we want to get only the postcode? So to do that, we have to make some changes here. I'm going to use 1 mile here and submit. You can see all the postcode here. Okay, there is an error with this. Perfect, you can see we got all the postcodes within 1 mile, and I'm going to remove this purse. That's it. You can use limitation here using for loop. You can give the total how many postcode you wanted, but I didn't use that limitation here. So that's it. Hope you this video will help you. Thank you.